Hello, friends. This is Ronnie Lozano again with another segment. And for those of you that are just tuning in, I am recording some of my life chapters here, sharing my, I guess, the good, the bad, and the ugly about a marriage that I've had, and hoping that somebody will get something out of this as I discuss some of the things that I've learned, and hopefully uh, just share some of that. In the past, I've talked about things I wish I would have known and things you should know before getting married. I've talked about 5 things you should know before getting married. I've talked about things I wish I would have known about her, things I wish she would have known about me. I've talked about changes during the marriage, choosing your battles. Is it worth it? Is it not? When to walk away? So I'd like to talk about when you know it's over. And pretty much, I'm thinking about a series going from that to letting go, just letting go, and having a new life ahead of you, not losing that passion, keeping the passion and trusting in God, actually. So I'd like to, in the future, that's where I'm headed. And I just want to let you know that. So I'm going to give you a little bit of background, some history as we move on with this topic of when you know it's over. So before we got married, I was in my late 30s. She was 27. Okay. So we were partiers, of course. We were very partiers. Life was great. We were going through a lot of happy hours. We worked at a cancer center. Okay. We worked at a stressful job, high touch, high tech. But even the entire group, we were very focused on our patients during the day. But at night, we we knew how to let that steam out. And so we spent a lot of time together as a group, going to happy hours, eating dinner at happy hours, having work parties, and it was a good time. We were drinkers. We danced a lot. That was the time during the movie Dirty Dancing was out, and this woman and I knew how to take that dance floor and work it, and we had some good dirty dancing going to the point where some of the staff members, I remember a nurse would come and go, okay, that's enough, no more, and we were into each other. We connected. It was great. At the same time, living in the Central Texas area, we drank a lot. We made what we called liquor runs to Laredo. And so we would go and buy some more rum and, buy some more tequila. We needed that for the margaritas, So we had trips. We'd fly to Cozumel and Cancun. No big deal. We'd had a good time, We would drive through the jungle in Cozumel and Cancun. We'd drive through the jungle in a Jeep, and we were just living life, We were really into each other. Life was good, and I remember one day we were in Austin and our favorite place to eat, it was called Compadres. And when the waitress comes over to give us our check, she commented on, man, you guys are really into each other. I mean, you guys are really into each other, because we were, after work, we would just go and if we wouldn't talk about work, we'd talk about each other, and we were just living life. It was a great life, So I was driving a Nissan 300ZX, okay? No issues with money, no issues with sex, no issues with work. It was great. We were on top of the world, filled with life, okay? And a lot of liquor, of course. So, but at the same time, this was a very volatile relationship, okay? Very volatile. And I would say at that time, because I was trying to understand our behavior, she brought out the very best in me. I loved this woman like you would believe. Gave her anything she needed, anything I thought she wanted. But at the same time, she brought out the very worst in me as well. Very worst in me. And it didn't help that we would be at a happy hour drinking. She introduced the term chugging to me. Chugging. We had chugging contests. We wouldn't get one drink at the bar. We'd get 3 apiece, And we would chug them, So anyway, parties and liquor. And the thing about parties and liquor is that it tends to mask your reality. right? It does. So she was renting a house from her father at that time. We both lived in Austin. I had gotten a divorce from my first marriage. And I guess, the way we behave, I think we made her roommate uncomfortable because there was a lot of everything going on. And her roommate, an older woman, moved out. And so, of course, Ronnie moves in. He moves in and pays for half the rent. No big deal. We're having a good time and still partying now at home all the time. We're making our own margaritas. We have 2 blenders. We need more liquor. We're making our own pina coladas. And those Long Island teas were really strong. But, we had liquor tolerance like crazy. So, my first marriage had ended peacefully, where we were both graceful with each other. We helped each other actually part ways financially. I helped her move into a place. She helped me move out. It was agreeable. Okay. This was a different story. And so when I move in, the reality starts to show itself. Okay. Disagreements crop up about things. The crying begins with her. Locking herself in the bathroom for hours begins. And I'm calling her parents because, again, I've said in the last session, I didn't want to be responsible for somebody who's suicidal because I only know what she allows me to know at this point. But I'm seeing things that for a 27-year-old woman living by herself all her life, having past relationships, I don't know what this is about anymore. So, but I do learn after a while, if I'm aggressive and pursuing a conversation, she's going to shut down. You don't get what you need. She cries, she walks away. If you follow her, she's going to lock herself up and it's not going to help. I learned space and time. Space and time. You have to give her some space, give her some time. Don't feed the fire, let it burn out. Don't give her more stuff don't feed the fire. Walking in the room, in the door, next to her, it's not going to work. So I learned that quickly. Space, just give it time, let it burn out. But going back to when I first saw this woman, I remember her walking into the cancer center and I was working already. I said to Amy, the person I was working with, I'm going to marry that girl. I'm going to marry that girl. Just kidding, of course. But it happened. So, and she was like a student. She was the intern. I was one of the people teaching in the simulator. I was one of the simulator tech at that point. And I remember her saying, I feel electricity when I'm next to you. When I stand next to you, there's like electricity. And flirting came naturally, of course. And I didn't look like this, that's for sure. But flirting came naturally, and her response was, you're so bad. You're so bad. But the undertone of you're so bad was always, I love it. I love that. Give me some more. So that was great. That was a good beginning. The beginning after... that was the beginning after moving in. And we had great relationships as we started to learn each other. But then after moving in and learning more and spending day and night with each other, we actually started fighting a lot. We fought at work. I mean, we would tear up a room, throw things at each other, and with supervisor would come in and go, what the blankety blank is going on here? And it came to the point where they actually reassigned her to another facility because we fought so much, and of course, Ronnie sends her roses like crazy because he misses her. I miss her when she's not around, so I spend a lot of money on roses every other day. And so, again, this is, we're talking married. Okay, we got married in 1989. We had our first daughter in 1991. We had our second daughter in 1996, So when we got married, we had our first daughter. We moved to Tyler, East Texas. Totally, it's not Austin, that's for sure. It's very conservative. So I'm working at a cancer center in Tyler, and then just to complete this, in 1998, I started working at a university. I moved away. I did not move away, but I started commuting. It was a great opportunity, and I worked in San Marcos. But in Tyler, uh, things started things started coming down in one sense, but something else started creeping in. Okay, so remember, I'm going to talk about when you know it's over, but I'm getting there. Okay, I'm giving you the background. Uh, the, so I'm working at a cancer center. Everything's great. I'm actually going home for lunch and eating lunch. It has lunch ready. I go home for lunch and go back to work. So I work around the corner from where I live. But when I get this position to work at a university, I get the offer to develop the first baccalaureate degree program in radiation therapy in the state. And it offers more money, esteem, the possibility of getting a higher education, becoming a professor even. It's really attractive to me. And the thought initially was to move back to Central Texas where we were working. But that didn't work out. That did not work out at all. So I moved from a very clinical position to a position in higher education. I'm back in graduate school. I'm working towards my master's this time. And the living arrangement was a win-win because I moved back to the house that I grew up in San Antonio. And my mom's like 82 years old at that time, and I'm helping her. I'm paying some of the, and I'm paying for some of the bills, giving her some money. In return, I'm having dinner ready. My old room's back, and so it's great. But I'm at home. I'm working on different things at the same time. When I go back home, remember this is a historical home that we live in. Okay, we just upgraded this first historical home built in 1938. We had just bought another historical home right next door. This home was built in 1867. Okay, these homes do not have breakers. They don't have breaker boxes. They have fuses and they have levers and they have knob and tube electrical separate wires. They're not grounded even. Okay, so actually it was my luck. This is what I wanted. I wanted when I was growing up, I wanted several things, but I wanted a gas barbecue grill, and I had it. I wanted my own home to work on. I've never been a new house kind of guy. I'm a hands-on kind of guy. And I got it, and really at that time I considered myself lucky because I wanted a beautiful woman. And at that time I was saying, I have a beautiful woman, and I'm deeply in love with her. And I remember saying in counseling sessions, I love the heck out of that woman. I'll do anything for her, And so anyway, so and here we are. I'm now working away from home, 8 hours away from home. And at the same time, I'm updating this old historical home we had just bought, but we're not moving into it yet. We live next door, and I'm working on it. I've been married 7 years at this time. My first child is 7 years old. My second child is 2 years old. And at home, I'm working on electrical things for these houses, plumbing, the foundation. I'm pulling out old window units for air conditioning so that we could put a central air in. And I don't mean I'm contracting this out. I'm doing this. And actually, that's one of the wonderful things about our relationship is we worked well together. We worked very well together. And I think that's something that kept us apart. There was a difference in our relationship. We weren't partying and alcohol all over the place and sex all over the place anymore. We'd calmed down, but the focus now was on asset building. I see this today. I didn't see it then. The focus was on let's build up our foundation. Let's get some investments going. Let's do what we can. Of course, Ronnie liked to do things himself. And she was a worker herself. And I appreciated that. And that's when we got along the best, So I am going to continue this in segment number 2 because 15 minutes is just about up. Do not go away. There's more to the story. This is just the background. Remember, we need to talk about when you know it's over. And I haven't even gotten there yet. Okay, so tune back in. Part 2 is coming real quick. Thank you. Bye-bye.